Hi, it's Martha, and in this video we're going to be talking about addition problems with more than one digit, and there's going to be an issue, and we're going to have to do a little bit of regrouping. So let's dive right in. So this is our first problem. It looks basic enough, 35 plus 27. So I represented the 35 in the top of the tens frame, and the 27, the two tens and the 7 ones in the bottom. The problem is an addition problem, so we need to combine. So in combining the units, we have 5 units and 7 units. That's 12 units. That's too many. It's not a single digit number. So what we're going to do is we are going to group together 10 of these units. I'm going to group them together and exchange them with our next door neighbor to the left, and he's going to make it into a 10 place value disk. So these aren't really here anymore. They've moved next door to the tens column. And then we look at the tens column and we're in good shape. We have 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. That's not a problem. So we're going to take what we have and bring it down and announce our answer. There are 6 tens and 2 ones. The answer is 62. So now we're going to take a look at what it looks like without the place value disks. Because every time we want an addition problem, we're not going to have place value disks available. So we're going to do what we did with the disks. We're going to add the units, the little guys, 5 and 7, that's 12. That's a problem. It's a 2-digit number. So we're going to break off 10 of the units and give them to our neighbor. That's giving the one bundle of 10 to your neighbor and keeping 2 units in your units column. And then you add your tens. 3, 4, 5, 6. The answer is 62. Another problem. Now we're adding 462 and 67. So the 462, here it is up top, 462. And here's the 67 underneath it, 6 disks of 10 and 7 unit disks. We are always going to start with the units, the little guys. And when we combine our units, we have 2 plus 7, that's 9. It's a single digit number. That's not a problem. But we go over to the tens column and we start adding our tens. Well, we have 6 and 6. We have 12 tens. That's too much. So we're going to group together 10 of those tens and give them to our neighbor to the left, and he's going to turn it into a hundreds disks. So these are not there anymore. Our neighbor has them. And then we're going to add the hundreds. 4 and 1 makes 5. So we're going to project down underneath to what we have as our final answer. In the units column, we have the 2 plus 7, we have 9 units. In the tens column, there was the exchange, so these 10 disks aren't there anymore. All that's left is 2 tens disks. And in the hundreds column, we have the 4 we had originally plus an additional 100. So a quick little recap without the disks. We first start by adding the units, 9, no problem. Then we add the tens, 12, that's a problem. So we're going to keep 2 of those 10 disks and bundle up 10 of the 10 disks, which is 100, and put one bundle of 10 tens in the hundreds column. And now we're going to add. So we have 9, we only have 2 of the 10 tens in the tens column, and we have 5 100s. So add the ones, add the tens, and make a trade if necessary, and then add the hundreds. Let's do it again. So we have 249. There's the 200, and here's the 40, and here's the 9. And then we're going to add to that 63. Here's the 60, and here's the 3. So we start adding the units. When we add the units, we have 9 plus 3 is 12. That's a problem. It's not a single-digit number. So we're going to keep the 2 units and bundle up 10 of those units, regroup them, and ask our next door neighbor to the left to make it into one tens disc. Then we're going to add our tens. So we had 4 to begin with, plus another 6, that's 10, and then the one that got exchanged, that's 11. So what we're going to do is we're going to bundle up 10 of them, 10 of these tens discs, and exchange it with our neighbor to the left, and he's going to turn it into 100. Now we're going to see what we have left. We have 300, 110, and 2 units. The answer is 312. Another quick addition problem. 365 plus 76. So we've got our 365 and we've got our 76. We add our units and we get 11. That's too much. Keep that unit digit, group up these 10 ones, do an exchange with your left door neighbor, and then count your tens. Well, we had 6 tens from the 365, 7 tens from the 76, plus this one that got exchanged, and I kept track of that exchange by putting it on top there. So all together we have. So for our next problem, we're going to be adding 365 and 76. So here I have the 300, the 6 tens, and the 5 units for the 365. And I have the 7, count them, 7 plus 6 for the 76. And we're going to combine starting with the units. When we add the units, we have 5 plus 6, we have 11 units. That's too much. So we're going to do an exchange. We're going to group 10 of these ones and go to my neighbor to the left and ask him to exchange the 10 ones for a 10 disc. Paper and pencil, I keep the 1 part of the 11, and the 10 part of the 11 I give to my neighbor in the tens column. Then we go to the tens column and we count. We have 6 and 4 make 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 14 tens discs. That's too many. We're going to keep 4 of those discs. And then we're going to group 10 of them and go to the next door neighbor and exchange those 10 for a 100 disc. So I think all of the exchanging has been done. This is how it played out in the addition problem. The 6 plus 1 is 7, and 7 made 14 tens. We grouped 10 of them and put 1 package of 10 tens in the hundreds column and kept the 4 remaining from the 14 tens. Now we have 400 and 41 as our answer. So once again, I'm trying to break it down so that we can do it paper and pencil and not have to think about those discs. We're going to add the ones. It became 11. We kept the 1 in the units column and regrouped, putting a 110 in the tens column. We added the tens column. 7 and 6 is 13, 14. 14 tens. We're going to keep the 4 tens and exchange for 100 and put the 100 in the hundreds column. And then we're going to add the hundreds. Add the ones and regroup. Add the tens and regroup. Add the hundreds. So here's the big idea behind renaming. Add the ones, regroup. Add the tens, regroup. Add the hundreds. So now we're going to be brave and do a problem without the discs. We're going to start with the little guys, the units. 2 plus 6 is 8, no problem. Write the 8. 7 and 8 are 15, a problem. So we need to regroup. 15, we're going to keep the 5 tens and add 100 to the hundreds column. And then we're going to add the hundreds. 3 and 6 and 1 makes 7. Add the ones, no need to regroup. Add the tens, 15, we have to regroup. Add a 1 to the hundreds column. Add the hundreds column, and we are done. A final problem. 563 plus 398. Add the ones. 8 and 3 is 11. There's a problem. We need to regroup. Of the 11, we're going to keep the 1, and we're going to add a 1 to the tens column. Now we're going to add the tens column. 15 and 1 makes 16. Another problem. We're going to keep the 6 and add a 1 to the hundreds column. Now we're going to add the hundreds column. 6 and 3 is 9. And we come up with 961. So what's our next step? Our next step would be to do the same thing with subtraction. As you can see from this little guy here, there can be a problem. You only have 3 units, and yet you have to take away 5 units. How is that going to work? Well, we'll find out in our next video. So it's Martha saying goodbye for now. See you later.